I am a senior research scientist at WestEd in the Washington office. In terms of educational psychology, it's a composite of many things. It deals with motivation, it deals with cognition, it deals with development. There are many, many aspects. It's a multifaceted discipline in which someone who has a degree in educational psychology tends to practice in research fields, not as a licensed psychologist in a school setting. So what you would find are people who particularly are PhDs in educational psychology would be researchers or professors of educational psychology. It's sort of an embarrassing story in that when I was in college, I hated taking standardized tests. Did not do particularly well, yet I excelled academically in courses from the time I was in high school through college, and could not understand the disconnect because psychological testing or educational testing generally falls in a school of education, in an educational psychology program. I sort of backdoored into educational psychology. Since leaving the particular field of psychometrics or educational measurement to become much more of a generalist in educational psychology. So, my foundation was in measurement, but I consider myself an educational psychologist. It depends on what you want to do with it. The work that I do, one needs a PhD. So going to whether it's a psychology department, a school of education, depending on where in an institution of higher education it's located, or even an educational psychology department on its own, a PhD is pretty much the standard degree that one needs. In some institutions, one goes for a terminal master's degree and then pursues a PhD. I'm not sure what a typical day would be because every day you're faced with different challenges. If you're a professor, every day morphs differently. Whether it's teaching a course, doing research, speaking at a conference. If you're like myself, an educational psychologist who works in a nonprofit organization conducting research, the day is typically varied. I may be working on a proposal, as I am today, trying to meet a pressing deadline, conceptualizing the proposal, working on budgetary issues, dealing with trying to pull together collaborators for something as complex as a large proposal. I might be working with stakeholders out in school districts or meeting with teachers or state departments of education, might be presenting at conferences, might be sitting at home just simply writing a research paper. So, every day is different. Every day has different challenges and opportunities. One is multitasking. I had a boss who said that women can multitask and men can't, but I tend to think that regardless of gender, everyone in the field needs to be able to have many balls in the air, juggle them, and make sure that they don't fall on the floor. Dealing with a level of frustration, dealing with sometimes failure to get a paper accepted in a journal, failure to get a proposal accepted for funding, even though you think it's the best piece of work imaginable. But flexibility to simply go with the flow. If you're doing a research project and something happens where the data collection is compromised or a site may drop out at the last minute, you need to be resilient and flexible in dealing with the ebbs and flows of one's work. I think the biggest is that no matter how good a paper or proposal, that there will be more failures than successes. The successes are wonderful. They feel good when they happen. You feel vindicated that all your hard work has come to fruition. But there will be many more rejections than acceptances, no matter how good you are, simply by the nature of what's called soft money, the funding situation in the country. So I think just dealing with a sense of that you don't internalize your failures and take it to heart. You learn from them and go forward. The research questions I'm asking currently have to do with data-driven decision making. In particular, if you train teachers to use data, does that impact what they do in the classroom? And ultimately, does that impact the performance of students? It's a logic model that we assume as we push teachers and administrators to use data to inform their practice. We don't know the impact of helping teachers to acquire data literacy or data skills. And so my work right now is really focused on what that impact is. I think that in the field we're becoming more responsive to society in general, trying to not just be theory-based, but if your research does not have an impact on the stakeholders, I personally feel that I have failed as an educational psychologist. And so there is a growing trend to reach out to the real practitioners out there and try and have more impact on the field rather than just simply publish the papers and have it sit in some library collecting dust. I think this trend is going to go forward. I think another trend is the increase in rigor. As I said, the push toward more evidence-based, more rigorous research has been growing over the past several years and will continue to grow. But I firmly believe that with rigor, we must consider being responsive to the educational community, being realistic, and really understanding their needs so that we can respond to those needs through our own research. If not, then the field really hasn't done its job. In a couple of ways. One, it is a major part of research in the area. Understanding the impact of educational technology is a primary research venue right now. It has transformed the way we can conduct research. You can use technology as a mode of collecting data. Instead of going to a mainframe computer in order to run your statistical analyses, you can do it on your laptop computer with as much or more technological capacity than one once had doing key punch cards and mainframe computers. So as technology is growing and evolving, it is impacting the field in tremendous ways. It is very competitive. It is very difficult. So understanding the job market is an essential step toward making a move toward this field. There are many challenges to the field. There are also many opportunities. The biggest one is to see an impact on how the children of this country learn and to help them be more successful. That's a pretty big opportunity. It's not right for everyone, but for those who are committed to understanding issues around motivation and cognition and learning and instruction and measurement, it's a fabulous career.